Called it. Called it. We all called it. All the Gundam fans out there, we all called it. This dude character's dead within an episode. They ain't gonna last an entire episode. Was surprised they took out Gates too. I figured they would keep around Gates a little bit longer, but it always feels like all these new Take evil bad guy characters, when they show up, they're dead. They're not gonna last very long, which more sucks in this situation. Shiko's story was very kind of simple, and not simple, but it was simple but complex, I guess the best way to put it. It's a mother that could not let the battlefield stay behind. They got sucked back into the battlefield. They couldn't let it go. And that tragedy is there. But I feel like with Do, they didn't do anything. Like, they literally did nothing with the cyber new type stuff. The only thing that we got out of that whole situation there was that emphasis that Do has of, like, how they deserve being a new type more than a new type. That cyber new types, they have to choose to put themselves through something. They have to commit to something. They go through some horrible stuff in those laboratories. Again, pretty much losing their personality. Like that whole idea of them claiming to be the heart of the machine. They have no self-worth. They have no self-value. Do is broken. Do is broke. All they care about is experiencing the sparkle Kidou, which, yeah, technically Machu does too, but let's put that aside over here. Let's put it aside over here. They're messed up. And so that's a lot of commitment for them to make. They're not just born to do it. They're not just evolved humans. They have to commit to it. But that was it. That feels like that's all they wanted to do with it. Other than them going crazy for the Sparkle Kidous, they did nothing really. And that's kind of unfortunate. Now, based on the name Do, they could have more. The lab itself could have more, and we could visit this again later on, but it just feels wrong. Especially after an entire week of my Twitter feed full of the heart for this character. They went crazy, even though everybody was a little bit sus about what the gender is. Even though everybody was very kind of question mark, is it male or female? It's the whole like Japan thing with the anime. It's like, give them a cute petite body, give them a female seiyuu, always have a female voice actress voice it, make him as cute as possible, as feminine as possible, and then have them say Boku at some point, but never say anything more. The question mark's always there. But no, I was a little bit miffed on losing Do so quickly. But again, I assumed it was going to happen. The cyber new types never really have happy lives. Here's another case of it. But no, anyways, the episode overall, episode 7, I like it and don't like it at the same time. Like, there's a side of me that so much happened this episode. It is the most Evangelion episode yet, because we had like the whole battle in the middle of the city. You know, dude comes over here and sits down, this massive laser shoots out, and then you have Nyaan over here, and it's like, it hits her really hard. It looked so Evangelion. And then later on, having Machu literally losing herself inside of the Gundam, and then suddenly the eyes go freaking red, and then Challia has to come over and like knock her out. I'm not sure exactly how he knocked her out. It seemed like it was a laser. It could have been like new type stun or something. It sounded like a laser, but there was no impact. I don't know how he knocked her out, but he knocked her out. I'm assuming it's a new type stun. He new type stunned her. He knocks her out just to stop her because like the Gundam's eyes were freaking going red. So again, that goes in that whole like realm of the bio mobile suit that I think they're going with this whole Evangelion writer mixture here. I think they're literally going to be doing this whole thing with it, and I'm very interested to see how that goes. But the other side of it was it's a very Gundam episode. Like, it's a very Evangelion episode and a very Gundam episode, because I think everything up until now has been very kind of original Gundam, where it doesn't feel like a Gundam. But yeah, having Kycilia involved, you have, this whole aspect of the plot to assassinate her in the middle of this big old city. You have this destruction happening, all for the sake of killing one person sitting on top of this building. You have the double crossing that happens. This feeling that almost Challia is somebody that can be trusted, but then come to find out, rug pull over here, he just wants to kill them both. Like, it's so Gundam. Like, all that stuff like there, the political intrigue and assassination stuff, that is so Gundam. So it's the most Evangelion and most Gundam episode yet. But the problem with that is that it was also the most overly packed episode. I really do feel like the pacing on this episode was a bit much. I really wish they had 2 episodes to work with this. Yes, one in so they can build into the cyber new types a little bit better, which again they can do later on, but more so to let some of these scenes kind of sit for a little bit. It felt like it was trying too fast to get all this stuff done. That aside, though, let's actually get into the episode proper, because there's quite a bit here that I do want to discuss, which I did find interesting, especially kind of opening the episode with Machu and Nyaan. That, yes, Machu went to Nyaan to say, hey, we got to get the hell out of here. Let's go get this spaceship. We find out later that, yes, her plan is to go get the money from the safe, which doesn't turn out very well. Go get the money from the safe, while Nyaan takes Shuuji over to the place they're going to get out from with a space glider. And yeah, that's when, of course, everything, unfolds. Before they get to that, though, we did have a brief scene with Kycilia meeting with the president. Now, this stuff was actually very interesting to me as an original Gundam fan, in the idea that they did actually confirm here, which I don't think they confirmed in this show yet, that the colony drop has happened. Which the colony drop was Zeon taking in a massive colony, this massive scale of a colony, and dropping it on Earth as a big bomb. And here, they're actually confirming that. They're saying, why are they doing this whole solar ray project? Oh, they must be trying to play nice because they did such nasty things. They want to help their reputation. So they want to do this solar ray, which is, as it implies, the massive machine that is going to produce solar rays like the sun does to help the devastated environment of Earth. Yes, anybody that knows how this works, they're not making it to do that. I won't go into details of it, but that's not why they're making it. Yeah, for those that know. The whole thing here is that it seems like Kycilia went there just to appease them. The guy there thinks that he's got her under his foot. Sorry, dude, you don't. They're doing it to appease these guys because they want investment. Because this is something that's going to cost. They say it's going to bankrupt a nation. I would probably say more than that. That's a lot of money to make this massive, massive space ray. But I think the more interesting thing here is that with the aspect of them getting into the solar ray concept, it does make me believe and confirm my feelings, especially with what Challia says at the very end. It does seem like this isn't it. Like they're already planning for something else. They're doing it under the guise of helping Earth, but it does make me believe that this isn't it. That either Kycilia herself has plans, Gideon himself has plans, or they may even have plans against Earth still. That even though they have a peace treaty, they might still want to do more. I'd be more lean to the idea that Kycilia is trying to prepare something under the guise of, establishing control with strength. But anyways, the MPs are flying everywhere. They really badly want to get Kycilia out of there. It seems like the MPs were tipped off to what's going on. We find out the president himself has been funding and controlling all the clan bats. He's been making money off of making something illegal in the background. That makes sense. It's a politician, of course. But yeah, that's when Gates and Adu make the scene, and very, very quickly, they want to get rid of Nyaan and Shuuji. That was the interesting thing, because yes, the assumption was that Gates and Adu was there to kill Kycilia. They didn't confirm it outright with the previous episode, but it was implied. Here it's confirmation, yes. They're both here to take down Kycilia. Makes sense, again, with, Bossk being involved. But it was more funny the fact that the moment they see Nyaan and Shuuji, they're like, get rid of those two. They're going to get in the way. We got to find Kycilia. But yeah, at the same time, Machu goes to the office to get the money. Now, this is a very interesting scene because, yes, I think this is sort of the tipping point for Machu's character in the idea that this girl, again, has sort of had a taste of freedom. She wants to get away from things, but this almost feels like a frustration point where she's in over her head. I do like from Annqi's perspective here, she's sort of trying to establish to this girl, look, you don't have what it takes, and it's a little bit too late. You had your chance, because even Machu's mad. You told me to go after Shuuji. I'm doing what you told me to do. This is why I hate parents. You told me to do this, so I'm doing all this. Don't blame me. She's in over her head. But I like the fact that, yeah, after everything unfolds, Annqi's saying it's too late to go back. I think the whole thing here is that, yes, she told Machu to go after Shuuji. And her response to that is, I gotta take this money and go because that's the only way I can get away with Shuuji. But what Annqi's saying here is that, yeah, I think you could have done that, but it's too late now. It's gone too far. You have MPs out there, Zeon's out there, there's a war happening out there. This isn't your chance to get the money and go run after somebody else. You've already missed that shot. I told you back there to take that shot. Now is not the time. But yeah, as much as I have my frustration with Machu's character, I do feel that sense here that Machu's in over her head. That I'm losing this one thing that I find to be an outlet, which is Shuuji, and I'm about to lose it. I got the taste of that new type, that Sparkle Kidou, and I'm about to lose that. I don't want to lose this thing. It's making... There's a side of me that makes Machu out to be like a druggie. Like, she got a taste of that new type, and she's about to lose it. It's disappearing, and she's losing it. Of course, technically over here, Du was trying to get a hit of that stuff, and she's going crazy, too. It disappeared. The Sparkle Kidou has disappeared. Where's that? These are all... They're all turning into this. They're literally, this entire show feels like it's going to be that. I would have no doubts that Hideaki Anno at some point turns that into a story bit. The Kidou is literally a drug. I wouldn't... Mark my word. It'll happen. Clip it so when it happens, you can say I'm a genius. It's going to happen. It could happen. It could happen. They just act so stupid. They act so stupid. But I agree with Annqi here. You can't do it. You can't pull that trigger. It's much different. When you're inside those machines, it's different than, of course, when you're standing in front of somebody and you see that direct impact to another human being. It's much different. But yeah, Nyaan and Shuuji are running away. Eventually, Nyaan ends up, crashing underneath this bridge. It kind of makes me feel like the GQuuuuuX took her there because it immediately ejected her. It almost felt like the GQuuuuuX knew where to take her and was getting her to Shuuji. But yeah, very interesting scene with Shuuji, though. Nyaan recalls asking Machu if she was in love with Shuuji. Of course, we don't really get an answer there. But I feel like this whole point right here is really driving home a sort of interesting element of Nyaan's character. The question mark that I have is really, why did she ask Machu if she loved Shuuji? She obviously knows that Machu's upset with her, and it's probably because she sparkle Kidou with Shuuji, but I almost feel like there's an element here where Nyaan's trying to understand why Machu is sacrificing so much for Shuuji. Because there is an establishment in this episode that Nyaan and Shuuji are alike. We both don't have somewhere to go to. I'm a refugee, Shuuji's come out of nowhere, we have nobody to leave behind nor bring with us. Machu's the only one that's different. Why is Machu sacrificing all this stuff and desperately wanting to go with us here? Things are getting very dangerous. I can leave right now with Shuuji, but she's still waiting for Machu. She's still even thinking about the fact that we have to get with Machu so we can get out of here. There's still a semblance here where she wants to leave with Machu, but I do believe she's questioning why Machu is doing this. Is it because she loves Shuuji? And I do believe there's an element there where I think she is questioning if, that same feeling that is what she has for Shuuji, that she doesn't know what those feelings are. But it finally does come to that point where she does make that commitment. Let's just leave the Gundams and Machu and get away. She finally kind of disconnects from Machu. We can leave here together. Don't worry about Machu. And I think that is partly because she understands that her and Shuuji are alike. Machu's different. Machu has something to stay here for. She'll be fine. Let's go. You and me, let's get out of here. But no, before she does, the Gundam starts to sparkle Kidou, and everybody starts claiming that it's a Zeknova. Even technically Kycilia confirms it. This was the same effect that happened back when the whole thing with Solomon happened. This is in fact a Zeknova that Char disappeared into. I'm assuming that this Zeknova, this thing itself it's obviously a teleportation. It disappears with it. I'm assuming he teleports somewhere else. That's sort of what Challia believes happened with Char, that when that Zeknova went off, he disappeared somewhere else. That's why he's been looking for him. Essentially not accepting the fact that explosion was him being obliterated into nothing. He believes he went somewhere else. He disappeared. So my assumption here is with it, because at some point Shuuji says, I can see it the other side, the assumption there is that this is sort of probably it could be some sort of warp, some transportation through another dimension, because he is claiming it's another side. Now, yeah, my weird theory is with the whole thing with Char and Lala being inside of these mobile suits, these Gundams, I would be kind of curious if Shuuji himself will end up being pulled into it as well. I don't think so. But also to that theory, we did technically have, once again, Kycilia hear the song, which was interesting as well. It was the same song that she heard back at Solomon. I don't know. I'd be curious. I'm still at this point kind of considering that the Red Gundam specifically has Kycilia in it, and the GQuuuuuX has specifically Char in it. Because I think she heard Lala's song specifically when the Red Gundam was going crazy, when the Zeknova was happening. I don't know. We'll see. I'm thinking we'll probably get a lot of answers to this stuff in the next episode, because the preview for the next episode is taking us back to Solomon, the Solomon drop. And I think back there we're going to probably see that possibly Lala was there at the moment that Char was piloting the Red Gundam, and I'm thinking that probably something happens right there. I think it's something probably happens between the two of them that kind of fuses it. Anyways, Dude goes nuts because the Zeknova happens and the Sparkle Kidous disappear, starts going crazy, blowing up everything, confronts Kycilia before, yes, Xavier shows up, but also Challia shows up. I thought this was actually pretty cool. The fact that Challia shows up and gives that indication that he's protecting Kycilia, thus, again, going what I was talking about last episode, it was flagging it too much that Challia wanted to kill her, that it was not going to be the case. A little bit different, but it's the same thing, technically. He saves her, takes out Du, goes and snags up Machu, and then runs off with her. But yes, later on with the conversation with Bakurov, revealing that, yeah, he wants Kycilia dead. He just doesn't want to kill just her. He wants to get rid of her and Giden at the same time. That makes more sense. The idea here is that because the Zabi family, because they won the war, because the Zeon won the war, you have the heads here are kind of conflicted. They're having a little bit control issue here. And what his whole mindset there is that if Kycilia dies, it'll tip the scales, Gundam will take control, and then there'll be another war. If Gundam dies, Kycilia takes control, that tips the balances of the everything, and then suddenly there's another war. He wants to take out both of them at the same time, thus there's no tipping of that scale, and thus no war gets triggered by these two. And so that sort of makes sense for me. The Zabi family is just, they got issues. They got issues, and they have the control, they have the power, and it's only a matter of time before war happens again. So I gotta get rid of both of them at the same time, thus there's no conflict being struck up. He doesn't want war again, which is interesting for a character like him, because you do have, like in that first episode, them mentioning this guy's acting like the war is never over. This is it, right here. He knows the war's not over because these two will cause something. The Solar Ray Project, there's stuff still happening here. They're still building weapons and whatnot. Which, yes, in peacetime, nations still build weapons in case of another war. But still, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, Challia now has Machu. He's got the broken kid Machu whining away in the prison because she lost her Shuuji and her Sparkle Kidas. I think what's going to happen there, he's probably next episode, he's going to confront Machu and tell her what happened to Char. He's probably going to tell her, don't worry, your Shuuji, your Sparkle, is coming back. I experienced that same Zeknova, and I believe my friend's not gone. And I'm looking for him currently. I think he's going to probably tell Machu that. It's not that he's disappeared. You just got to go find him again. And that'll probably reinvigorate her to try to find Shuuji. He's going to probably promise her, I will help find your Shuuji. I'm looking for that red Gundam too. Let's go. And that's probably going to be what kind of triggers her to continue. And I think Challia is going to manipulate Machu for the sake of taking down Kycilia. No doubt. We've established the two sides right now. Not that he's specifically going after Kycilia, but both Kycilia and Given. Yeah, no doubt this is going to be a rival thing here. Challia is going to have Machu go to war with her, and then eventually Kycilia is going to send off Nyaan, and the two of them are going to go head to head. You know it's coming. You know Machu versus Nyaan is coming, and Machu is going to be stupid dirtbaggery about it. Like, you took my Shuuji away, Nyaan, I'm going to kill you. I am so not looking forward to that. I'm so not looking forward to that. But yeah, that was the interesting thing, though. The fact that Xavier found Nyaan and brought her to Kycilia. How did he know that Nyaan was piloting it? He literally found her, chased her down, and said, come with me. I want to make you part of the Zeons. Join us. You're a great pilot. How did you find that out? He was looking for the pilot of the Gundam. At some point, he thought it was Machu, and he captured Machu and realized, okay, that's still flying, so it can't be her. How did he find out that was Nyaan? The only thing I can think of is that Annqi told Challia, but why would Challia tell Xavier? That's the question mark. During the fight, he was too busy going after to save Kycilia, so it's not like he followed Nyaan before she got out of the mobile suit. Yeah, that's weird. Anyways, he captured her, brings her up there. It's sad, though, because Nyaan gets up there and she's like, we'll bring anybody, your family, your friends with us, and we'll take them under the protection of Zeon. I got nobody. Oof. Now, you know that she doesn't have family because, again, she's a refugee. Shuuji and Machu were her only family. That's why she wanted to run away with them. But here, she's basically saying that both of them are gone. But yeah, at the same time, reports are going out that Machu's a bad girl. Machu's a bad girl. Mom knows about it too. That sucks for her. They never implied the mom was a bad person. Girl's going through her rebellious phase with mobile suits. They're not a good thing, which is very typical for Gundam. But anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 7. Overall, really solid episode. Again, I like the Gundam / Evangelion feels of the episode overall. I just felt like a lot of missed opportunities with the cyber new types, and I felt like it was a little bit too fast. It went a little bit too fast overall. But again, they could technically get into some cyber new type stuff in the future. I would assume there could be more than just Do, based on the name, but still a bummer though. I just sort of find that to be sort of a commonality with the Gundam series overall. It's just kind of introducing these really interesting bad guy characters and then killing them in an episode. Like, it's the old episodic vibes of you have to have a fight every episode, and so introduce new cool character and then kill them. It's just their thing. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below. If you like this content and want to watch more, links in the description below. Greatly appreciate it. But until next time, y'all take care.